The reason that 2% of the world is successful is they take time to plan their lives and to plan their businesses.
Originating from deep inside the Rocky Mountains, transported through the power of the internet, and arriving inside your tiny earbuds. It's the Appraiser Coach Podcast.
Minisode.
I was on a mastermind follow-up, we call it an accountability meeting this morning, and one of my great mastermind students said something today, a term that I had never heard before, and I paused and I said, what? I want to share with you that term and what it means and a bigger lesson on what it can mean to you in your life. In just a moment, I want to pause here and remind you that we are sponsored by OINII Software. Speaking of great things in your life, OINII will change the way that you run your business. It will change the way that you manage your business. And you can find them at anow.com/coach. Again, it's anow.com/coach. All right, folks, I was on an accountability meeting this morning, and I've mentioned this in past episodes, but about 6 weeks after our normal meeting, we have an accountability meeting online with my dream team. Now, the actual meeting that we have is in person, and we hold those in DC, Chicago, Salt Lake, Las Vegas, Los Angeles, Dallas, and online. We do have an online version as well. Did I miss any? Anyway, and we meet in person in a hotel room where we spend an entire day once a quarter helping appraisers become better business owners, helping them to set and achieve their goals, helping them to overcome hurdles that are keeping them from being as successful as they want to be. And about 6 weeks after that meeting, so halfway between the two meetings, we have what's called an accountability meeting. And that is simply an opportunity to briefly, it only takes a few minutes, but we briefly meet together online and we discuss the goals that they set 6 weeks earlier. And we say, how are you doing? What can we help you with? What are you struggling with? Are you reaching your goals? In other words, we don't want them to show up 3 months later and go, oh yeah, I had some goals. Oh yeah, forgot about that. Oh yeah. We want to help them to get where they want. And I was on one of those meetings today, and we were talking to an individual by the name, well, we'll call him Tim, because that's his name. Tim has been a longtime mastermind student of mine, a great guy. I get along very, very well with him, and it's been fun to work with him over the years. And we're on, and Tim says, well, I've been working on my pony time. Yeah, I did the same thing. Okay. I didn't know Tim had ponies, but that's cool and all. I'm glad he's getting a new hobby. That's nice. And he quickly explained. Now, before I explain what he said to me, let me first back up for just a second. And a term that we use a lot in my mastermind and my all-star team groups is OINII. Okay, it's an acronym that I came up with, but it was stolen from Michael Gerber and, of course, the E-Myth. If you have not read the E-Myth Revisited, please do so. But Michael Gerber talks about the importance of working on it, not in it. And I found that I was referring to on it, not in it so often that I finally just came up with an acronym. And the acronym is OINII, or OINII. Let me spell that one more time. OINII. It stands for, you guessed it, on it, not in it. On it, not in it. OINII. So to make it easy, we talk about this quite often. We'll be sitting in a mastermind group and somebody's struggling with something, and I might say something to the effect of, are you doing your OINII time? And they might be, oh, yeah, I know I should be, but I'm not. Okay, fine. Thank you, coach. I'm going to refocus, right? On it, not in it. We're in this meeting, and Tim brought up the term pony. I want to share with you what that means, what that meant to Tim, and a great lesson when we come back for the break. We first want to remind you that we are sponsored by OINII Software. That's another acronym, by the way. It stands for Appraisers Now. It is a software that was created by appraisers for appraisers. Specifically, Marty Haldane in Canada, very successful appraiser in his own right, knew that he did not have an effective way to manage his appraisal world, his appraisal office, his appraisal business, and so he created it. And it's called Appraisers Now, or OINII Software. Folks, you cannot go wrong with OINII. I have helped hundreds of appraisers finally take the leap from not having it to having it, and with very few exceptions, usually because they didn't last long enough to get to know what it really can do for them, people are extremely grateful. It will change the way that you manage your appraisal business. It will change the way you manage your life. All right, folks, welcome back. We are talking today about pony. No, not those hairy little creatures that you would put your daughter on and ride around the yard on. We're talking about Tim, and Tim is a member of my all-star team, and he said, I've been working on my pony time. And he very quickly, thankfully, because I think all of our jaws kind of dropped and thought, okay, Tim, whatever floats your boat, dude. He explained, okay? On it, not in it, or OINII time is all about businesses. Pony time, putting a P in front of the OINII, is all about, you guessed it, personal on it, not in it. Now, this is different than what I often talk about here, and I often talk about taking time for yourself. For example, today, after I got done with my coaching calls and some other things that I had to do, I jumped in the car, I drove 20 minutes away, I attended a matinee, horrible movie, by the way, absolutely waste of time. But nonetheless, I took some time for myself. It's one of the things that I enjoy about being a small business owner and about being my own boss, is I don't have to call up the man, if you will, and say, hey, I'd like to take some time off this afternoon. I don't have to do that. I just do it. And I did today. Now, that kind of time is important. But what Tim was talking about is personal on it, not in it time, specifically about working on you. Now, that might include rest and relaxation, because that is certainly part of working on you. But what we're talking specifically about today is regular time to sit down and decide, first of all, what are my goals? What does my vision story look like for this year? What do I personally want? Now, that may and should include if you have a significant other, if you have children, if you have extended family, friends, relationships as well. It may and probably should include your health. It should include your travel and finances and, fill in the blank. But this is about time for you. Now, I've talked here before, so I won't spend a lot of time on it right now, but I've talked a lot about on it, not in it. And what does that actually mean? How do you accomplish that? By the way, there is a great webinar on my website that I will tell you about in just a couple of minutes on that very topic. But as Tim taught us all today in the accountability meeting, you have got to, on a regular basis, take time to plan your life. Personal, on it, not in it. When was the last time you sat down and turned off your phone, turned off the internet on your laptop, turned off your distractions, don't take this the wrong way, turned off your significant other, right? Turned off your children and got to a place where you could focus solely on you and then started making decisions. It will change your life when you plan your life. By the way, folks, that's the difference between the 98% of the world and the 2%. Let me repeat. The reason that 2% of the world is successful is they take time to plan their lives and to plan their businesses. Now, if you want to know more about OINII or on it, not in it, you can simply go to my website, theappraisercoach.com, go to products, scroll down. You will find a webinar specifically on what on it, not in it looks like, what I do every single Monday morning. I will go through the process of what it looks like, how to do it, how to plan it, how to make it more efficient and more effective for you. If you're a member of my All-Star team, that webinar is completely free. If you're not a member of my All-Star team, it's only $49 a month. Hey, join us, take the webinar, and if you don't like it, cancel. No obligation. Hope you'll be there. Hope you'll join us. Thanks for joining me today.
You've been listening to the Appraiser Coach podcast with Dustin Harris. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and post a short review on iTunes. For more in-depth insider information on how you can make more money as a real estate appraiser, visit theappraisercoach.com and sign up for the All-Star team today. Thanks for joining us. And now, get out there and create some value.
And the acronym is I skipped ahead.